Hey there, you're listening to Your Life is Awesome, brought to you by Enjoy Toys, featuring true life stories about sex told by audience members at SmutSlams around the world. SmutSlam is a growing network of dirty storytelling shows founded in 2011 by me, Cameron Moore. We do our best to keep SmutSlam safe, but safe doesn't mean G-rated. Some of these stories are explicit as fuck. If you're not into that, now is a good time to get out. Otherwise, enjoy the show.
Your life is awesome! Your life is awesome!
Hey there, and welcome to Your Life is Awesome, a podcast featuring stories from SmutSlam, a sex-positive community storytelling show that happens all over the world. My name is Cameron Moore. I am the host and founder of SmutSlam International, and I gotta tell you, when I founded SmutSlam nearly 14 years ago, I had no idea how it would even work. I knew that I like to tell sex stories, but I really wasn't sure that anybody else would. So fortunately, for my idea on this show, fortunately, there were other people like me who like to talk about their sex lives. And so we started doing that in Boston, and now it's spread to over 20 cities around the world and counting. So we definitely are excited to be bringing that live experience to as many places as we can. What does that look like live? Well, we just greet people at the door of a SmutSlam, invite them to drop their name into the hat, and then we draw their names out one at a time and get them to come on up and share their 5-minute sex story. I don't even know how it works sometimes, but that's what we do. And the results are what you can hear some of here on Your Life is Awesome. We do ask for extra rounds of consent from all of our storytellers who are on this podcast, so they're just super happy to share their stories with you as well. This episode was recorded in Berlin in August 2024 at our last summer outdoor show at Villa Kuriosum, which is a lovely sort of fairy-lit, green leaf dappled artist collective space and garden in Berlin. Again, that's Villa Kuriosum. Super psyched to be there during the good months. The theme this time was party. Wherever people gather with fun in mind, there's always a chance that something good or at least weird is going to happen. You'll hear it here first, like group sex in a bank vault, an alien-themed fucking orgy that involves saying hi to the neighbors. I don't know what to tell you, but it's all here. You name it, we got it at the parties. In between the stories that you're going to hear, you're going to get some access to the rest of the show. It's not just stories. We get confessions and questions from the audience. We gather them up in the fuck bucket. I read them and do my best to treat them respectfully, concisely, humorously, and always empathetically. I'm always real nice. People have questions. I do my best to give answers. That's the fuck bucket for you. You're going to hear all of it right now. So just strap in and enjoy. We'll see you on the other side. I'm in a long distance relationship. Because of that, my partner put his dick in a mixture that felt and looked like cold porridge to make me a copy of his cock. I bet you didn't think that's where that was going. Out of despair, I dunked it in oatmeal. People do weird shit when they're desperate. I want to fuck my breakfast. I'm so tired of not having morning sex with you. Fuck the muesli. What am I doing with my life? Okay. If you have a crush on someone at a party and want to pull them off or get pulled that same night, how the fuck can you make sure you won't catch any STIs? Wrap it up, baby. Now, there's some things you can't know for sure. This is a risk that you have to take if you're doing any kind of like casual hookups. There's some things that go around, sometimes condoms. It can theoretically go around. But condoms, dental dams, things with gloves that don't involve mouth or penetration, like, thank you. Those are the kinds of things you do. If you absolutely you want to make sure you don't catch any STIs, fingers, baby, fingers, get stuck in, right? Not even fingers, up to your elbow. Come on, be creative. We got Berghain here in Berlin. You could do that. We got Ficken 3000. Okay, so if you really don't want to catch anything, you use proper gloves on your hands and go to town. Or wrap up as safely as you can down there. There's no guarantees in life, but those are going to help you really up your odds about that.
Hello everyone. So my story today begins at a party and contains 3 unicorns that you will find with me. So it begins like another story I said here, but it's not the same story because it begins at the time I went to Australia to work as a stripper with my stripper friend who was already working there. So I moved there for a few months, and I was also in my period when I discovered FetLife and how you can search for event and find all the play parties. So I was very excited about it. So maybe, one day after I arrived, I was on FetLife looking for a play party. And I found one in a mansion. So that was a very nice place, like a whole villa, and there was a pool. So we went there with my friend. And when we arrived there, my friend wanted to try some rope, some bondage. And I had taken just one class. So I was very one class and some tryouts. So I knew how to do the basic knots, the safety measures, and I got the attitude. Not the knots, but the attitude very much. So I tried it with her and she was enjoying it very much, which means that my attitude was saving it. And a couple just sat there and began to look at us. A very attractive couple. And the woman of the couple asked if I could tie her up as well, which I was a bit more nervous about because, before it was my friend, she kind of knew. I was like, that I just did a class, right? Yes, great. This was a very beautiful woman and I had a little more pressure. So I was like, the attitude, let's go. Yes, let's move this body very fluidly. You get it. She really liked it as well. So great. Saving rule. And after that, me and my friend end up talking with this couple. And we were both finding both of them very attractive. So let's call the woman Raya for this story. And the guy, let's call him Ragnar. Because he was looking exactly like Ragnar in the show Vikings. I don't know which of you saw it, but very similar. If Ragnar of Viking was an Australian sex therapist. And with my friend, we actually still call him Ragnar between us, even now. Yeah, so Ragnar and Raya. So we talk, it goes well, and we decide to exchange contact and go for a drink on another day. So with my friend, we go meet them, and in the bar, we realize that we're a bit nervous. And suddenly, we look at each other and we're like, are we on a date? And we were like, yes, we are on a date, the two of us with this couple. And it was such an interesting dynamic because me and my friend were not being sexual together, but we are very comfortable being sexual next to each other. Also because of work. We had some work training of that to see each other in sexual setting, even if it's different. And so very comfortable on this part. We're like, oh, that's so cute. We're on a date together with this couple. So they arrive. We have some very nice conversation. After, normal for a first date, they offer us to go to a sex shop. So we go to a sex shop. We look around. We flirt a bit. But this first night, nothing more. And we just say goodbye and invite them to the strip club. So the second date was at the strip club. We arranged each other with my friend to work at the same strip club, to dance on the stage at the same time on a song we liked. We had everything planned. They're coming. We dance on the stage. Raya is making it rain on us. We're having a great time. And still some flirting, nothing more. We were waiting for the third date, apparently. There is one cliche in this story. The third date is sex. So for the third date, we actually go to their place. And we begin with like some erotic massage and everything. It goes very well. I'm playing with Raya. My friend is playing with Ragnar. We are holding hands at the same time. My friend is just doing some little like that to be like, I'm okay, I'm having a great time. Are you? I'm like, I'm too. It is great. And at some point, we exchange partners. My friend is playing with Raya, is using the strap-on that I offered her, but I didn't know how to choose a strap-on right, so it was way too big. So Raya was very brave on this one. And me, I was with Ragnar, and Ragnar had ejaculated with my friend, and he was very like a bit frustrated about it, but wanted to make it right, so was all up in my pussy with like both hands, tongue, and I could feel that for him he didn't have enough hands, he didn't have enough like tongue going on. If he would have like 6 hands, he would have felt nicely. And so far, me and my friend were the 2 unicorns of this story. And the third one was because Ragnar wanted to do it so well that he looked around, found a dildo, tried out the suction cup, and put it on his forehead. And as we say with my friend, he unicorned me very good. Thank you.
I think that all sex stories would be better if you put the names of legend into them. Just name them after gods. During one of my first dates, I think I was 15, one of my balls got twisted and swelled up to the size of a tennis ball. The pain was so intense that I burst out into tears, but I was too embarrassed to tell her. I made up a stupid excuse and asked her parents to call... Yes, her parents to call my mother to pick me up. It was before mobile phones. We went straight to the hospital and into surgery. I have never seen this girl again. Fuck. Wow.
So my story is not long, and my mother tongue is definitely not English, so let's take it easy. If it's not obvious, I'm a chef in the last 15 years. And as you know, chefs sing a lot. I mean, from restaurants to private events, switching couple parties for olderies in 1st of January. We saw a lot of things in catering. Yeah, but I did start from restaurants, and it was in my 20s, and we all know that we quite horny in our 20s, right? This is like, you think about sex most of the time. So I started in this fine dining restaurant. Was a great opportunity for me. But I was really sex focused in my 20s, I have to say. Living in Tel Aviv, if anybody was visiting in Tel Aviv, it's a very active city. Yeah, quite active. We says the city that's not sleeping. I think she take it from Berlin, but Tel Aviv have his own vibe. A lot of queer, a lot of parties. So I'm into women's, if anybody wonders. And in restaurants, waiters, 20s, you know, it's like kind of environment that you continue to think about sex. It was a good opportunity for me to start in this restaurant, and the chef have a lot of expectation for me. But I did think about sex all the time. So I walked, it was kind of an open kitchen, a dream for every customers, like woman, man's cooking inside, it's all steam, everybody's shouting, yes, chef. It's like a very theatralic kitchen. And I walked there, let's say, quite close to the waiter station. You know, it's like code line, you start from the basic. And it was this cute waitress that I think at the time she still lived with her parents. Yeah, it was, well, 20s. Any case, she keep touching my butt on the way. It was with consent, and we kind of have a thing, and we kiss a few times during the shift. After I think it's been like a week or two, again, back to my 20s, yeah. The chef caught me in some corner of the restaurant and told me, if you dare to fuck any waitress in this restaurant, I send you home and I never bring you back to the shift. I was like, I already make out with few waitresses in the bathroom. I mean, chef, sorry. It was in the break of this events and between few courses there. But I didn't went all the way in the restaurant, I was like, try to be respectful. Old Altbach house, very romantic restaurant. It's a cave under the restaurant. It's all inviting to escape the service, escape the steam, and just go have sex. Yeah. But I really didn't want to lose this job. I mean, it was a great opportunity, beginning of my career, and also it's an awesome restaurant. And the chef, it's quite he stands behind his thing. He's not just talking. So I knew that if I'm doing this mistake, I will definitely be home. It was some private event. They closed the restaurant, white and black wedding, very sexy, very cool. A lot of famous people. It was a lot of sex environment in this party. The waitress was busy. I was busy in the kitchen, but she keeps sending eyes, and I was like, okay. Now, do I listen to the chef? Do I don't listen to the chef? It's really inviting. It was obvious that she want to have sex, and so we finish. We stay a bit for the party. The chef went somewhere. I didn't see him anymore. And I was like, okay, let's not do it in a restaurant. Let's go to your place. And I was like, no, my parents living with the same apartment. I was like, yeah, but we can't do it really here, right? I'm going to lose my job. I don't know about you. And my house wasn't an option. It was quite far away. And I'm with a heavy motorbike in the restaurant. Okay, so we tried to head toward her place. The parents in the end wasn't home. So the staircase, right? There's not too many options. 7th floor staircase. The house is above us. Now, it started to happen, and we spoke about condoms are very important. Yeah, the staircase the light shut off in some point, and we was really into it. Yes, hanging on the wall, lifting the girl in the air. It was really kind of the whole event, passion, going there into the dark staircase. In some point, we heard a door from the floor under us getting open to the staircase. It's okay, maybe her parents taking the last floor by stairs, or maybe somebody coming. We both, teenage, got stressed. It's dark. I pull out the condom, kind of squishing away. Cum fell over her jeans that was kind of pulled off. I didn't say it wouldn't be an awkward story, but it's happened. Yes, sex can get messy. I mean, I think I can say nicely that we both came, but mine was kind of everywhere. Yeah. So what you do? The girl need to go back home. Is late after work. Her jeans is dirty, so she say, I can't go upstairs like that, right? So okay, I have to be a gentleman. I'll give you my jeans, right? She wear her jeans. I have to cut it short. She wore her jeans, went out. I'm going back to the motorbike, heavy motorbike, winter. I need to drive to the next city. I don't have pants, right? Yeah. So imagine me with boots, chef jacket, motorbike jacket, no jeans, and the tightest underwear I ever choose to wear. Really, really. That's not all. You can just imagine who I saw in the red light on the way home. Yes. It was my chef. Yeah.
He said you can imagine. I give you permission to imagine. But honestly, I have known and I have slept with a couple of people in restaurant industries. I've been a waitress, and it sounds sexy and hot, and it's the bear and all that stuff. It is fucking stress balls. So you can't really judge the restaurant workers. They're doing the best they can. Okay. I love public sex and the idea of maybe getting caught, but I really don't want to get caught. Yeah. Yeah. Right? That is the paradox, isn't it? I was very surprised to learn when I came here and started talking to more people at the SmutSlams is like, actually public sex is not encouraged here. I mean, they're going to look the other way, especially in your meadows and your, in your parks or whatever. But like, mostly it's the same as other places. You don't want to actually get caught in a fucking doorway somewhere. I hear that. I guess you could. Oh, I just love the nightlife that comes out. Oh, what was that? Was that a bat or a bird? That must have been a bat, eh? Yeah. I saw a bat. Okay. I think, the way to do that is like getting caught is obviously role play, right? They're not looking for advice. I'm just saying go for role play, but it's a fine line to walk on in terms of I'd like to be public but not get caught. A lot of people here feel your pain. They feel your pain. Okay. All right.
So Berlin ends up having kind of a reputation, and one of the things that Berlin offers is like sex parties in a bunch of different places. And I've been kind of fortunate to get invited to ones here and there. And one of them that I got invited to took place in the basement of a former Sparkasse. And it was an interesting thing, and I didn't really know what to expect. And I went in, and I go downstairs where the whole thing was taking place, and it was decorated in not what I would expect a bank basement to look like exactly. Although I'm not sure I very well knew what a bank basement would look like if it was going to be for a sex party. But use your imagination. So I walk in, and I take off my shoes, and I go right into the ball pit because bank vaults often apparently have ball pits. So I'm sitting in the ball pit with 3 or 4 people, and we're just kind of chatting and talking and getting to know each other. Where are you from? Your English is good. And I'm like, yeah, it's my native language and the only one I can speak. So I crawl up out of the ball pit maybe 20 minutes later, and I'm sitting in the back room watching, and I'm like, I can't believe I get to go to these things. And there's like TVs everywhere, but the TVs are kind of like dark yellow, and you can't really see what's going on. And I was talking to one of the people next to me who was like, there's a vault down here. And I was like, wait, did I walk past the vault? And they were like, yeah, you did, right by the entrance. So this person took me by the arm, and we went and grabbed 2 other people, and there was a bed on the floor of the vault. And the vault is about 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters, which is cozy, but it had a bed. And so there were 4 of us that got down on the ground, brought some safer sex supplies and some paper towels and all this fun stuff. And we were on the mattress on the floor of the bank vault for 2 hours, maybe 2.5. And it was a lot of fun. And I got to say that I hooked up in the bank vault in a Sparkasse. And then after it was all over, and we kind of got our stuff together and got up and started meandering out of the vault, there was a line of people who were like high-fiving myself and some of the other people. They were like, yeah, that was awesome. That was so cool. And I'm like, I know, but why do you all know? And as I was walking out, I caught a glimpse of the last person walking out of the vault on the TV. And I realized that those all were closed circuit TVs. And for the past 2.5 hours, the entire party was watching the 4 of us do all the fun things that the 4 of us were doing. And I think everyone else might have remembered, but the high fives were still incredibly confusing. And that is, thank you. And that is one of my party stories, and the time that I had sex in a Sparkasse bank vault after a ball pit.
So one of the things I love about Berlin is that you can have a very specific sex party story. The ball pit and the bank vault. Yes, that works for me. I saw 8 shooting stars during the Perseids, and every time I wished for a make-out session with a cute queer person, but still nothing has happened yet. Hashtag hot dry summer. Hashtag where's my brat summer. There's a frowny face on there. Ah! Summer ain't over till it's over. Okay.
So earlier this year, I was asked by my boyfriend to organize a very special birthday party for him. He wanted to celebrate his very special birthday. I'm not going to say how old he is. With kind of like a gangbang. But the specifics that he asked for were, first of all, persons with pussies only. And secondly, he wanted to get fucked by every girl, woman attending. So, and he asked me to organize. And it gave me quite a headache because I had never organized such a thing. I mean, I've been to a couple of like 1 or 2 orgies, but how to organize such a thing? So luckily, we have a friend. She's more experienced and in organizing orgies. So, and I knew that she also wanted to attend. So I talked to her. I asked her, can you help me? And she was very helpful. We had like kind of a coaching session. So she asked me a lot of questions, and she said that, we need a theme. And we need a structure because if it's just everybody coming together and not all of us knew each other before, it might get too unorganized and too loose, kind of. So, and then we were brainstorming what kind of a topic. So first we came up with, it should be something sci-fi. And then it became... So the topic became, or the idea was that all of us attending would be an intergalactic squad of alien princesses from different planets, having captured for the first time a male human. So, and she said, I can help you get more girls, women, to attend, but you got to write a briefing so that everyone knows what to expect. So I did that. And in the end, we were, including me, 5 alien princesses from different universes. The last specification that my boyfriend gave me is he wanted me to be the first and the last to fuck him. So when the day arrived, the idea was that he had to stay in his room because he was captured, obviously. So we so that all of us could get together and, we dressed up, we had some sect, we did makeup so that we look very alien, and we discussed, what we want to do, what we don't want to do, boundaries, etc. And then it was my job to bring the captive in, half naked, of course. And, this topic, I can really recommend this, to play alien who captured someone, because we did this quite well. We never seen a male human. So, of course, we first had to observe and, what's the word, examine him for his bodily functions, including level of pain tolerance that is high, and all openings, and what we could do with him. So, and my friend who had helped me organize this, set up this together, she was very diligent. She had a notepad, one of those, and she took notes like a logbook. I still have it. And I think my boyfriend and all of us were very happy because, one girl fell asleep because she had a rough night before, but he got fucked by 4 of us. And also, not only that, but it also became like we all played with each other. And it was, when I look at the pictures today, it was like you can't really see anything because it's like bodies intertwined with each other. So we really enjoyed it, and it gave me inspiration for my birthday party a couple of months later, but that is a story for the next SmutSlam.
I can't be the only one who's sitting there thinking snoo. Yes, you know it. Okay, that's an old reference, but also fucking the logistics of an orgy are extreme. Like I am in such awe of that. Like I have produced events, but if you're being requested to like basically cater a sex party, with the people, it's like that's impressive. I don't know if anyone saw that go by on Twitter. Maybe last year, somebody documented the whole process of inviting people for a gangbang. They had like corporate flowcharts and everything for that. It's like, well, we received 1,436 inquiries, and then we eliminated these, and then we had interviews, and it was fucking full out. Right? If there weren't tentacles involved, I will be very disappointed. Tentacles! Okay. How do I handle a person who has a fetish for fat bodies? A person who has a fetish for fat bodies. So they are going to go after fat people for the most part. They're going to, there's names for that. What's that? Okay, so fetish for fat bodies. So this is something that I've had a little bit of experience early on in that sex club that I was talking about. There were a couple of people who came around who I was like, you don't. I personally, I find it hard to give any kind of objective advice. You know what? I never promise objective advice here at the SmutSlam. Fuck it. My feeling here is like, you kind of have to handle them how they bring themselves to the room, right? If they're treating you poorly, if they are not interested in any other aspect of you, then you know what to do. Kick them to the curb, all right? It is okay to have a preference for body types. The fact that fat bodies are not traditionally celebrated in Western society, the fact that fat bodies are not talked about, the fact that even I as a fat person would look at this and be like, I'm distrustful. Like, that's not really fair, because everyone is allowed to have preferences for the kind of bodies that you want to get involved in. And we have so much put like a label of, there is so much intense visceral disgust on a societal level for fat bodies that when someone wants one, it's like it's perceived as a problem. Okay, so it may be a problem depending on how they are approaching you, but if they are being respectful to you and they're talking with you and you find that they are not dehumanizing, right? The problem with fetishes around body types is they can lead to dehumanizing. If they are not dehumanizing you, if they are rehumanizing you, if they are giving you the experience of being desired that you like, that's okay too. All right. So I say just see how they treat you in the rest of the world. Arrange for places and events and dates and things where you get to see how they are. And then you'd go on that behavior. That's how I would handle that. Okay.
Hi, beautiful people. I'm really glad to be here. This night it's my first time, so be nice. I want to have some. Ooh, yeah. And Yes. So my story is more the thing that I got a little bit disappointed by a sex party, because I went to a club near the Sisyphus. I don't remember the name. Maybe someone knows it. RSBO. Okay, and I just got there and was like, oh, that's a nice kinky party. I didn't went to many kinky parties, so I dressed up and was really excited and just wear a turtleneck that was see-through. You could see my boobs, and it was like my first experience. I was like, oh, I will show my boobs and whatever. And then I got in this club, and I have ADHD, as you mentioned before, and I got a big anxiety attack because of all the lights and the loud mixes, and everything was so messed up that I just went outside. It was in the middle of the winter, it was really cold, and I thought to myself, I was really tired. Oh, there's no kinky, no sexy experience anymore. But, well, then I sat down and there I just sat by my side, and the two people next to me were talking to each other, and one of them turned to me and was like, oh, I really like your boobs. Can I touch them? And thank you. And I looked at her. I assumed she was female and presented, and was like, yeah, go for it. And then she was really, really gentle with me. So I really liked it. And then the other person sitting next to her was looking at us, was like, oh, they are enjoying it. But this person was more male presenting. And I would say he looked at me and was like, can I touch them too? And I got, hell yeah. And so after that, I just got inside, danced a little bit, got home, and had my little kinky experience, not as I expected.
I think that actually must be a really common thing when people are going out to these clubs by themselves, where they think like, you know, because there's usually a lot of anticipation built up around it. And you're like, everything could happen that my mind has created. And it's just not so. You have to be maybe embedded in the community a little more. You have to be somebody who people know. You have to, you know, if you really want it, sometimes there's work that goes into it. But you go and you have those things where it's like, ooh, I got to do a thing at the club. And it's great, and I love that for you so much. Oh, can I touch your boobs? Also, that wasn't a request. I would never do that. I was just quoting. Also, it's a really nice first entry point for like consent. They asked you. They didn't just kind of sleaze up to you and be like, you know, like maybe you like that, but like most people want to be asked before their boobs are touched, no matter how transparent the turtleneck. So yeah, exactly. Congratulations. That sounds great. Very sweet. I'm pregnant and worried how my body changing will influence my sensuality and libido. I'm really hoping for a juicy few months ahead. I hope so too, because probably after the baby's born, you're going to be in for it with the poopy diapers and whatnot. So yeah, like I get your worries, especially if sex and sensuality is really important to you. Like go out and go for it, grab it. Like some people have a fetish for pregnant bodies, right? Speaking of fetishes. So you don't know who's going to be into it. I hope you get a lot of it, whatever you want. Okay. I'm still masturbating about sex with my ex. Is that weird? I love how it turned into this sort of ambient garden of no. The universe is talking to you in a 1,000 tongues, and it says, no, you're fine.
My story today is about becoming more bottom in Berlin at parties. And I was glad you started with the theme of insecurities. I'm going to go back to that because it relates a lot to insecurities. And it's been a long process, pretty hard too at times. So if I would give it a title, it would be Anal Life in Berlin at Parties. And I had a time where on my online dating profile, I used the sentence born and bred in Berlin. And so why born? I actually mean reborn. When I came to Berlin 17 years ago in 2007, I was quite insecure. And it was such a refreshing experience to be in Berlin and go to parties. And one of the clubs became my favorite clubs. Can I get a guess which club? No! No? Okay. Okay, this is going to be set at Berghain. But good, it seems like the whole mix of parties here. So I would go to Berghain a lot, but I would be so insecure I didn't get much sex, even though I really wanted sex, even though I was in my 20s. So that's pretty frustrating, as we can imagine. I was also reflecting on what experience actually shaped that. It had to do with me from coming from Cologne. I grew up in Cologne. And there, my experience dating was related a lot to things that nowadays have terms from the online dating. That has to do with when people put in their profiles no femmes, no Asians, no. Yes, that deserves a big boo. Fortunately in Berlin, it's less common than elsewhere. But even before that became such a thing on the online dating, it did shape my experience a lot. So that's what I arrived with in Berlin and was going out to Berghain. And so in the end, going out to Berghain was an important experience, but not so much with the sex. So the breeding was more about inspiration. Like I had my first E at Berghain. I had my first blowjob from a hetero guy at Berghain. And I had my first time dancing naked at Berghain. That was a pretty special experience too. It started actually with a pretty fucking wild woman. That's really blew my mind. I was dancing with her. She was all naked. And we went to the toilet, hung out. It was a fun time. We took stuff together. And after a while, I was asking her, how come she's so naked? And like, how did she get there? What does she like to do? And then she told me what she likes most about going to Berghain. And I was wondering, is blood a no-go? Was that a no? No, that's fine. So, okay. No. Consensual sex with gay guys where they finger her and fist her until she's bleeding is what she said. And that like blew my mind so much, I realized, oh my God, this is the moment I have to get naked too. So I got off my clothes and I really partied wild with her. We didn't go to the dark room. I didn't join her for the dark room. I hadn't probably ever been to the dark room at that time. And so it's also about me going to the dark rooms for the first times, which, was a much later process, actually. Confession, one thing that made it really hard is actually partly my OCD as well, because I have anal trauma. And what I mean with that is, like, I would go to Berghain, and to protect myself from these insecurities, I'd be like, yeah, no, I don't go and have sex here. I like the music. I'm here for a DJ. I just dance a lot. And so I'd be dancing a lot. I'd be dancing all night and really fucking wild. And now I realize, actually, looking back, I would have, like, the nickname Duracell Bunny. And now I was imagining the image like a bunny with a battery up its ass, like going the whole time. But I also realized, actually, it's probably some of that repressed sexuality that I'm not living out here. So, many years later, I would go and be back at Berghain and imagine. In the meantime, I'm not going very often, so I was a bit insecure as well. But I was imagining, okay, this time I want to do it differently. I want to dance, but I also want to know that whenever it doesn't feel right, I want to go and check out other things, make use of the whole space, and see, maybe in the dark room too. So there was a moment it got not so interesting to be dancing, so I went to the dark room instead. And just hung out, hovered near the door, taking it pretty slow and a bit nervous. And I saw two people getting it off, like a blowjob. And suddenly one of them disappears. And then the other person gets up and I notice, there's like a silhouette. In the silhouette I notice like, it's a skirt. And it kind of like catches my attention. I feel more comfortable going closer. Realize actually the skirt makes me feel a bit more safe. Because the usual thing that feels like very masculine for masculine vibes, mask for mask, they call it. So I got really comfortable and we got it off. I first fucked them. They enjoyed it, but then I lost my heart on. So then they surprised me very suddenly and were like, "Are you verse?" And I've been verse in the meantime, but not at clubs. So I thought for a second, but then after hesitating said, "Yeah, okay, let's try." So I tried it and they slipped in really slowly, enjoyed it. Felt very comfortable, felt very cared for. And we had a good time just hanging around at the darkroom after. And fast forward a few hours, I was upstairs in Panorama Bar dancing, and someone comes over in a skirt again. And it's like the legend Zelda in a skirt, like in orange and really funky, dancing me up, and then rubbing that dick through the skirt against my ass. And I get so comfortable within seconds. We're upstairs on the balcony fucking, and I'm riding it really fucking hard. Oh my God. And I realized, actually, a skirt is pretty good to keep it a bit private on the balcony too, just so you know, just in case. And I surprised myself how hard I could go.
We went back home to my date's place and I went to the bathroom. I usually have no issues pooping at someone else's house, but this time the flush did not work. I took a lot of toilet paper, grabbed it out of the toilet, and threw everything out the window! I'm sorry, but that is antisocial behavior. I cannot support that act. Huh, you clearly have issues pooping at someone else's place. Sometimes it doesn't go away. You just like, yeah, oh, Lord. I can't breathe. I'm having an issue right now. Okay, shit. All right, literally. Okay.
What did I tell you? Parties, anything can happen. And sometimes it does. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. For a quick thank you specific to the show, I want to give just another little stroke of appreciation to Villa Kuriosum, Frederica, our liaison there. We always look forward to doing our slams during the summertime. When the weather's good, it's just a lovely place. So thanks to Villa Kuriosum. We'll see you again next spring, hopefully. If you want to know how we create a space at our shows where people feel safer in telling their stories, you can read our full code of conduct. That's at SmutSlam.com. Just look for Code of Conduct. All right. And read up on that, because that is going to help you get ready for attending the other slams. I'm going to tell you about that in a second here. But first, I want to remind you, you can join our Patreon for a very reasonable amount and get early and extended episodes right there online. It's patreon.com/yourlifeisawesome. Please join us and support the cause of sex-themed storytelling around the world. Now, if you're lucky, you're going to be in a space where you can come and see SmutSlam live, which is a totally different experience, and I strongly recommend it. Please listen now for the next approximately 4 weeks worth of SmutSlam. It's going to get wild in here, folks, because September, yeah, we ramped up a little bit, but October, we are going full throttle back into the season. So brace yourself. Here we go. October 1st. Is a slam in Boston, hosted by Victor Victrola. October 2nd in Tallinn. I'll be there as part of Feministerium's kind of day celebrating work towards expanding the laws of consent in Estonia. I'm so happy to be part of that programming. October 2nd in Tallinn. October 4th, Tartu. October 6th, Riga. October 8th, Vilnius. October 10th, Warsaw. And October 12th, Poznan. Those are all me. I'm doing a tour of the Baltic countries and Poland. Super excited about Poznan. That's a first-time appearance for us there. Looking forward to it. October 13th, we got a slam in Amsterdam hosted by Busty Latish. October 15th, I'll be in Copenhagen. October 18th in Baltimore, Diva Darling is taking a spin on the microphone, ready to help the smut lovers there get their good time. So that's October 18th in Baltimore. October 21st, I'll be back home for a Berlin slam, and then I'm taking off again for a slam in Tampere, Finland on October 25th. And on October 27th, I'm going to round off that little mini tour with Helsinki. So it's all there. You can look at it online in our calendar at smutslam.com. Just look up directory. That shows you kind of those. It is pretty fucking chock-a-block, but we love to do it. So I hope we're going to see you there. If you want to see other shows by me, well, you're out of luck because I don't have any other shows happening this month. But when I do have theatrical works or performance projects, other storytelling shows, I will tell you about it right here. So you want to follow this podcast. You can also follow us at SmutSlam International on Instagram, SmutSlam INTL on Instagram. On Facebook, it's spelled out, SmutSlam International. If you're old like me, you could join me there. In the meantime, stay warm. We're getting into cooler weather now in the Northern Hemisphere. Stay warm, stay well, and we'll see you next time. Remember, your life is awesome.
This has been Your Life is Awesome, a story podcast from SmutSlam with Cameron Moore. Produced by me, Mark Seistedt. Music by Sticky Biscuits. A huge thank you to all storytellers featured. All stories are being shared with permission. Thanks also to Enjoy Toys, makers of deluxe stainless steel instruments of pleasure, for continually supporting SmutSlam. Find them at enjoytoys.com. If you want to help us make more of these, plus get access to longer episodes and other bonus material, please join our Patreon at patreon.com. Your life is awesome. If that's not in the cards right now, you can also help by rating and reviewing this show. Look for that option in your podcast app. We might read out some reviews on a future episode. Got a question for Cameron? Write or send a voice recording to smutslampodcast@gmail.com. This too might be featured on the podcast. And if you want to find out more about SmutSlam and the code of conduct we use in the shows, go to smutslam.com. All links mentioned can be found in the podcast info. Thanks for listening.